everybody. Y'all know we are back at it again. We've got another amazing coach coming forth today. And y'all know how we do on Resilient Soul Speak, honey. We got to talk about what makes us resilient, right? We got to talk about these journeys that we go through becoming coaches and attempting to impact you and kind of make sure that you're not going down the same roads that we're going. And so tonight, ooh, honey, I got a really good bio that I'm going to read for you because it is amazing. Tonight, we're going to have an amazing discussion. Y'all know we love relationships, honey. We love a little bit of tea. And so tonight, I have got Coach T Love that is going to be spreading and sharing the tea. And I mean, hear me when I say resilience. I thought if resilience, was a person, it would be me. But definitely, this coach, I am eager and excited. So I am just happy to have you, Coach Christy.
Yay, I'm happy to be here.
I
Thank you for
know.
having me.
Yeah, oh, you are definitely welcome. So listen, I'm gonna get right into it. So what I know about you is that not only are you a daughter of the king, but you're a mother of a daughter.
Yes,
Love how the little play on words
yes,
there.
yes,
Okay, so we're a life renewal coach and a realtor come
yes,
through.
yes.
Now, I know that you're an educator. Now, you've been an educator how long?
I've been in education for 30 years, basically.
Ooh, help you.
Yes, help
Help
me, Jesus.
help you. Okay, then. Okay, so you empower individuals to not only reposition,
Yes,
so reposition to
reposition.
realign,
Mhm.
reclaim, rediscover, rebuild, renew, and rise into the bold, whole, and healed version of themselves that God designed them to be.
Yes,
Now, so what I understand is that you work with women over 35.
yes,
I
over
love that.
35.
I love
Yes, because truly when you're going through something, and a lot of times women are eager to get married early on, 20, 25. Oh, they can't wait to get married. Okay,
that.
they want to have that white dress and they want to walk down the aisle, and it's a really big day, but sometimes they don't understand the journey after it,
Mm.
because the journey after the ceremony can be very, I'll just say, interesting, because you have all these different challenges that may go on in a marriage. And then, they have that 7 year itch, that 7 year itch where um, you don't know if you want to be married or you want to leave,
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so sometimes if you are not lined up together, you don't see eye to eye on things, and that partner might me they might want something else. And
yeah,
you are saying, well, I'm doing everything that I need to do in the relationship, but they're choosing not to.
yeah,
And so sometimes you have to kind of go in your word and see what God says about that. And then you might recognize, oh, maybe this is not something that I needed to do,
yes.
but I'm in it. Now, how do I stay in it and do and be under the guidelines of what God says to do?
Yeah. And I love the way you said that. Let me tell you something. It tickles me. It just tickles my fancy. Every time I see these amazing memes about, praying for my husband, praying, and oh, I can't wait. And I'm thinking to myself, honey, the way you better wait on the Lord. Baby, because at the end of the day, it is not all that it is cracked up to be when you're not in alignment. See, a
Right.
lot of women, and I recognize this, I did it. We don't take accountability sometimes.
Mhm.
Did you ask God? Or was he handsome? Did you pick him yourself? And then,
Mhm.
see, we'll ask parents, right? Now, you tell me if you agree with this. Like, we'll ask parents for their blessing. But do we ever just ask God before we ask the parents about the blessing of whether this is who I need to be with or not?
I'm not quite sure if that was the case. I will say for me that as a teenager, I wanted this picture of who I wanted to marry.
Yeah.
I wanted the man that could to give me that light skinned
Mm-hmm.
person, you know, and I thought that you, honey, I had El DeBarge on lock, but he wasn't my husband. Okay, but he wasn't my husband.
That's
So
it.
I was looking for that El DeBarge kind of person,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I also was looking for that person who knew God.
Yeah.
But there's a difference in knowing God and
Mm.
having a relationship with God.
Mm.
Okay, so um, you know, the word says, "Be careful who comes to you in sheep's clothing."
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. So saying all the right things
yeah.
at the time was very different than what you might get, you
Yeah.
know, because when you're in it, you're like, okay, um, this is not quite what I thought it was going to be, you
Mm.
know. But because I really truly um, valued the wedding, well, not the wedding, but marriage, I
Mm-hmm.
really thought highly of marriage. I because God ordained it, and I
Yeah.
figured, well, if God ordained it, it has to be right.
Mm-hmm.
So I took a vow, and I was quite serious about my vows.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, I wanted to do everything I could possibly do to make it work.
That's it.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And sometimes um putting myself on the back burner
Yeah. We do that.
happened, you know.
Yeah.
And so I found myself trying to do everything and walking the path and, you know, not doing anything out of the way. And then I wasn't getting my needs met.
Mm-hmm. You end up you end up pouring into, and that's another thing they don't understand. You pour into a person so much
Hmm.
because you believe in it. In my situation, definitely here for it, honey, because I wanted to do all the things, make sure that it looked according
Right.
to what traditionally I thought it should look like, right?
Hmm.
And even though in the midst of, because I know a man that don't work, don't eat.
Right.
Let's start right there. For me,
Hmm.
it was, child, how are we going to keep eating
Right.
if you don't want to work, right? So
Right.
it starts off as the subtle things.
Hmm.
And then you have this picture in your mind, God said, not only provide, but you're going to lead and you're going to do, and then you find yourself leading. You
Hmm.
find yourself kind of being on the
Hmm.
forefront. Well, for me, if I have to lead it, you, what are you in? Because you're in the wrong place. If I got to lead, so it
Hmm.
was it was already, like a constant kind of pull and probe on that. Um, do you think that, just those experiences in the beginning, because we're trying to do all the things, right? We're
Yeah.
investing, we're pouring into them, we're
Yes.
falling to the background, so now we're not seen. Do you think that that's what kind of causes you to want to like pour into other women? Because for me, I use a lot of that in my coaching. I have to use a lot of that relationship stuff in my coaching. Do you feel like that's what kind of caused that?
I think a lot of things caused that for me. I think, you know, making sure that I was aligned with what God says
Mm,
and really diving into what I believe and what God said about the marriage, right?
mhm, mhm,
And so the way I think of marriage is okay, in Genesis, Adam had to have a relationship with
yeah,
God,
yeah,
right? He had to
yeah,
have a relationship. I have to have a relationship with God, right? And I think about it as a cross, right?
yeah.
If he has a relationship with God and I have a relationship, when we come together, we should be coming as one, right?
Right.
And I felt like, okay, well, we're coming together, but somebody got out of alignment,
Yeah.
okay? And maybe his alignment wasn't with God the way it should have been,
Right.
the way it was portrayed to me,
Hmm.
right? And so therefore I looked at it and I was like, well, God, talk to me. Where do I go with this? Okay, because I want to be in right standing with you,
Hmm.
but yet this doesn't feel like the right standing that he
All
should
together.
have with me. You said that I'm supposed to be submissive, but
Hmm.
what does submissive mean? Well, if he's not submissive to you, I can't be submissive to him.
Right.
I got to be submissive to you because that's what The word says, right? And so I um I kept praying, I kept, seeking him.
Yeah.
Seeking him for answers, and then it happened in the seeking. Um you know, there were things that were occurring in the marriage, and infidelity, and to the point where there were two children born within my marriage, right? Twins. And I and for him to have my daughter, to keep that a secret from me
Mm.
and then reveal it in church. Yes. And so when I think about that, that was my breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
That was the breaking point for me to say, if you don't honor God, how are you going to honor me as your wife?
That's it. Yeah. Mm. Mm.
So at that point, I left with just two suitcases, one for her and one for me.
And doesn't that make, see, people don't understand when you get tired of being sick and tired, yeah, none of the things even matter. And we're so close in that story because infidelity happened in my relationship. And when the baby situation showed up, the strangest thing is that I was more angry with her as almost as if I expected it. Something
Mhm.
here made me feel like I would, yeah, I don't know, like
Right.
something there. But I was so angry with the betrayal of the best friend word.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the one thing that I couldn't do, right? I can't
Yes.
have children. So this is the one thing that I cannot do. I
Right.
do all the things in the marriage,
Mm-hmm.
including be the man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be
Mm-hmm.
clear.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm the one going to church. I'm the one praying. I'm the one working. I'm the one taking care of the bills. I'm the one making sure everybody and anybody need, So I'm doing all the things. And the one thing that I could not do, the best friend seems to have thought, that that was okay to do.
Right.
And I think that most people would look at that, especially in my situation. I had a lot of people saying, you need to, girl, I would be out of there. Girl, I would do this. People don't really know until you're in it because the truth of the matter is, it wasn't the kid. The kid didn't ask to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
No.
not I'm not mad at this situation. That's a blessing
Right.
regardless of where it came
Right.
from. But it was and I think because I'm going to go into this pivot that we have as coaches. Like
Yeah.
it's that pivotal thing that causes us to kind of flip over. It was that moment for me that said to me, you know what? Did I even ask God about this? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
almost made me stop and think, like, because I could have kept myself from going through a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stuff
Yeah.
if I would have went to God first. The best thing is that you were going to God all along, and
Yeah.
he kind of gave you that revelation, but
Yeah.
in church.
It took some time. It took a lot of seeking.
Mhm,
And yes, it was in church. Church was that place, with my family at
mhm.
church. They kind of surrounded me. They took a hold of my child and took a hold of me and kind of held me close.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I will say that that was a really good thing for me then, because she actually got her father figure role model there. They looked
Mhm,
after her. They made sure that she was going the right path. Me, anything that I needed,
mhm,
support, they were giving it to me.
mhm,
I felt in that moment when he walked through that door with his family,
mm,
and the eyes was on the back of my head, right? Because I could not see that he walked in, but my daughter was in the choir box, and
mhm.
I could see her expression and how she cringed. And I said, never again would I
Yeah.
allow her to experience that again.
Mhm.
And I didn't care about anything.
Yeah.
I just wanted peace.
Yeah.
I didn't care about the house. I didn't care about anything that he had. And I had a lot of people say to me, well, why did you leave? and why you didn't fight for the
The thing,
material thing.
the things. Everybody wants the things.
Everybody wants the things. For me, it was because I can get things.
Yeah.
I can't get my peace
Yeah.
without removing myself
Yeah.
because it was not good. So, and then at the same time, I was thinking, Lord, I don't know this. I know that this side of me is in me somewhere where I, I can't go to jail,
That's it. You got to.
because I got to take care of my daughter.
Mm,
I can't go to jail. But the anger that was in me
mm,
all the time,
mm.
that I needed to be away. I would leave in the mornings at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym, to work out, to swim, to do all the things.
Yeah.
And then I would come home late at night before he would go to work so that my daughter wouldn't have to hear any of the emotional stress that was
That's
going
it.
on.
That's it.
But however, she could feel it.
Wow.
And so, really, as I think about that time period, and after I made that decision, it concerned me whether or not did I make the right decision?
Yeah.
So I asked her, are you upset with me because I left? And her response was, no, I'm wondering what took you so long.
Ooh. Mm.
So you have to be careful
Yeah.
because children know what their parents are dealing with.
That's it.
And if it affects you, it's going to affect them.
Yeah.
And I just felt like, okay, yeah, I made the right decision. You know, God put me in a place to let me know you want to hear from me.
Yeah.
And I know that this is where you hear from me in this place, in this sanctuary, because you honor me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna let you know this is your exit and it's okay, daughter.
Ooh, and it's that calming because tradition wants to tell you not to. Now, don't get me wrong. These young girls with this concept, this microwave concept, where as soon as you make them mad, it's over. Everybody just go their own separate way. That's craziness to me. But when it is, I remember when one of the pastors, I was just talking to him about um my relationship, and I was really trying to, and this is in my first marriage because it was a very abusive situation. And only when my daughter was around would I lose my mind. See, I was so used to the foolery. Okay then. But when my child was present, oh, I was like somebody different. Okay. And so it was almost like an understanding, right? Like he knew not to show out while the daughter was there because he already knew it was going to be a different outcome. But I asked my pastor because it was bothering me at the thought of what is the church going to think? What are people going to say? Or I'm failing because I can't, it's me. I just was the victim. I don't know. I was just going through this thing. And I just remember him saying, well, this is what I want you to do, sweetie. I want you to study this week. Never told me what to study. He said, I want you to study this week. And then next week, when we meet, I want you to be able to show me and tell me where God said that it's okay, for the man, to put his hands on you. And I just looked because I was thinking, now, that's nowhere in the Bible. I'm like, that's nowhere in the Bible. But he literally walked off like I was going to find it somewhere. Now, I knew it wasn't, but I knew that that was his way of saying, honey, first of all, this ain't even your husband, is what he wanted to say. Like, you in the wrong
Right.
position anyway. But as women, we want so bad to have this picture perfect situation going. We want to have an Instagram photo of my
Mhm.
man, my man, my man. Like there's this misunderstanding of how the enemy will creep in if there is any doors. And so when you talk about, as we're talking about the pivot, I know when I was looking at your program, this idea of having to reposition,
Mhm.
this is where after,
This was a repositioning.
gotcha.
And the repositioning of, okay, now it's me and her.
Yeah. Ooh,
Okay. Now it's, oh, well, you already been taking care of everything that has to do with her.
there you go.
You
Mm,
know, the only thing you weren't doing was paying the whole mortgage.
mhm,
I was already paying half of everything.
mm,
So what was it that I wasn't doing? I did everything.
mhm, mhm,
Well, when they said I couldn't do it, or they said I couldn't make it, and they said I wouldn't amount to anything,
mm,
but every day I kept saying, "Oh yes, I can.
mhm.
I'm all that because he said that I am,
Yeah.
and I have the receipts to show it." You
Mm,
know, I I mean, you know, the moment that, and there are times where I went when I got my place, my apartment. I had my daughter to go with me to find it. And the interesting thing about me finding my apartment was it was on Faith Church Road. I
oh,
got the Faith Church and Road. Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Oh, God
So
is so intentional.
she immediately said, "This is where we're supposed to be."
That's it.
And I said, "Okay."
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
God is so intentional.
He's very intentional. He was very intentional about where I live,
Yeah.
you know? And and yes, I will say this. When I left, I could clap can say that I was homeless for 2 months.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though I had somewhere to go,
Yeah.
you know, I was homeless for 2 months because that wasn't where my residence was.
That's it. Yeah.
But I had family that took me in. I had some friends that took me in.
Mhm.
But God,
Ooh, this is where the realignment comes.
realignment come.
Yeah.
But God. And
Yeah.
when I say that there were some trials, yes, there were some trials. I got robbed in the midst of those 2 months.
Gee.
Yeah, well, tried to get robbed, because see, what happened to her was a different kind of story,
It was way too much.
It was way too much now, it was a little too much. I'm walking out and the only thing I have is my purse,
Yeah.
and I'm in the store, and she decides that she wants to pick up my pocketbook and my daughter on the other end. Now, look, I got to protect me and I got to protect her. Next thing I know, I'm running after the queen.
Give me back.
Give it. Okay.
I love it. You cannot play with a mama bear.
No.
No. And the thought of the timing. You're already going through God knows what. You found out about these two children. Now you got to turn around and reposition and
Yeah.
realign your
Yeah.
life. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Steal my purse tomorrow, honey. But
Yeah. Don't
today,
do it. Don't do it right now. Please
no,
don't do it right now. I don't have anything else but my purse.
oh God,
You know, and,
I
and when
love
I have my purse, I got my, the ID.
I
That's
did.
my identity.
Oh, and the enemy,
Ooh, no, you
enemy
cannot.
already trying to take
Yeah,
your
he's
identity.
trying to take my identity.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the day that I moved out, I had a friend ask me, "Why are you crying?" I said, "Well, it's not because I'm sad."
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely not.
It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
So the repositioning was I had to find a safe, peaceful place
Hmm.
for my child.
That's it.
That was number one because I am a mother,
Hmm.
right?
That's it.
God gave me her, you know,
Yeah.
my responsibility. Yes, I gave her back, but he still entrusted her to me. And
Hmm.
so I needed to make sure that she was okay. And in
Hmm.
the process, I took some time for me.
That's it.
I took some time to show myself me. I had to look at me and see who I really am, and I look at me all the time to see who I really am.
Mhm.
I am not a divorcee.
Yeah.
I am.
Mhm.
I am the daughter of the king.
That's it.
He provides for me. He provides everything I need. And you know, every time I would sing that song, he never took his hand off of me.
Yeah. Ooh.
He never has taken his hand off of me. He still provides for me. Even when it doesn't look like it, he still provides.
Mhm.
And I can remember while I was in the first year listening to um, Jamal Bryant do a sermon on I had to date him.
Oh, I love that one. Hey,
I
my
love
beautiful
it.
leaders. I am so excited that you are here with us tonight. Listen, it's your girl, Dr. Thompson, better known to you as Coach T Speaks. And one thing that I love doing is helping women of color in leadership build profitable coaching businesses using their skills, their knowledge, and experience. And one thing I know, two things for sure. If you have an experience or if you have a story that you are wanting to share, you just don't know how, or you have an idea that you're wanting to pour into a business and you just don't know how, I am the person that you need to talk to. So I want you to go to the link in bio. Make sure that you click the discovery call. Listen, they're free. They're just for us to sit, talk, kind of see where your circumstance is, and really kind of pull out what God is calling you to do. My job is to help you not only discover your calling, but develop that calling and definitely dominate in that calling. So we're going to go back to this amazing interview, but I love it. And I am so excited that you are here to share in this with us tonight. So I love you. See you on the other side. I love it.
I had to date
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And I will say this, I don't like the experiences that I had to go through while I was there,
Yeah.
but I had to go through some of those experiences so that it will develop me as a woman,
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
know? And so I don't discount any of it. I think he had to just show me, he had to cut me, he had to prune me, he had to
Mm.
bring me down, he had to let me see who he is,
Yeah.
you know? And
In the
I
midst
think
of
in the midst of all of that.
Yeah, because the thing is, when he's doing his pruning process and he's building you and stretching you and tearing you and doing all the things, I had to date him was definitely a very key sermon that I heard even in my realignment just in this last couple of
Yeah,
years, because you kind of think back on all the mistakes that you've made and I remember coming to some of the, I would call them elders, older women, when God first positioned me here.
right.
It's like, why would you want me to tell grown women? You know what I mean? I'm thinking you want me to work with younger women. But
Mhm.
see, my aggravation, and I knew he was being intentional. What we know now, we try to make sure they don't have to go through.
Right.
The problem there is when I brought these older women together, it was because why don't they want to hear it? Why do they think they already know? That was a problem for me because it's like, do you know that in our age bracket, we used to want to sit around the older
Yeah.
women.
Yeah.
I used to
And
want to
couldn't.
know. Oh, and
And
yeah, and
couldn't.
couldn't really. Like, I want to know, honey, I want to hear from you. Tell me what
Mhm.
not to do. And then we just wouldn't do it. We didn't
Mhm.
understand why. It was just that the older ladies say don't do it.
That's
But
all they would say. Don't do it. Don't.
don't,
And you do want to know why so that you can know the outcome
there you
of
go.
it.
But
You know, be,
we had this thing where we just wouldn't because the older women we trusted knew something that we didn't know.
like it was a secret.
Like it was a secret. And that's the thing. Now it's hard, like as coaches, and I say this, you tell me, but I know when you're dealing with your clients, do you ever, just sometimes feel more like you're hurting more for them sometimes than they're hurting for themselves? Does that
Yes,
make sense?
yes. Sometimes when I'm dealing with my clients, I can remember one that just didn't understand that what they were going through.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
There's some situations in the word that's similar to hers.
mm-hmm.
And when I pointed those things out to her, it was a,
Aha moment. Aha. Yeah, yeah. And it's like
yes,
you didn't have to go through that.
yes,
Literally, if you would listen to me, you
hmm,
literally would not have to go through that.
right,
That was what became like a barrier. And
yes,
I did just a little study amongst the older women, younger women, all the women that were like you do 35
hmm,
and up, right? So these women were 35 and under, and then of course the older. And I was trying to figure out what that barrier was. And it is because our generation as a whole, from family to marriages to jobs.
hmm,
I know you work with, even if they've had loss, you
yes,
know, I,
yeah,
I literally have two sisters left. Like when I
yes,
say loss, I mean, I lost everybody, honey. So
yes,
we know loss, we know
yes,
pain.
yes,
Our backbones are different though.
yeah.
We've had to overcome so much hurt, so much disappointment, so much. And so to try to prevent somebody from going through that, and all they assume, well, it wouldn't be me. I had a young girl tell me that. Well, and I would see, first of all, that wouldn't even be me. Yeah, definitely could.
You don't know where your life is going to turn or
No.
it pivot to because and just understanding that um you're pivoting a lot of times because there's a lesson that you need to learn in the pivot.
Mm,
And so
it's,
if you got to pivot away from what your journey is, sometimes, oh, you didn't get the lesson enough to move forward.
yeah, you
You
didn't.
got to pivot a little bit so that you can learn this lesson so that you can move forward.
Yeah, yeah,
You got to get stronger. And even the relationships that happened later after that did not develop, I didn't think of it as um a shoulda, coulda, woulda, it didn't kind of thing.
yeah.
But yes, you know, people say don't look back, but in my looking back, it wasn't to go back.
There you go. Yeah.
It was to reflect about what lesson did I learn
Mm-hmm.
about that situation?
Mm-hmm.
What did I learn? And when I picked up the lesson, if I got it, then I can realign and reposition
Mm-hmm.
and move forward.
Yeah.
Rebuilding what I learned, rebuilding me,
That's it. That's
because it's about showing me who I am.
hmm. So if like when you are talking about reclaiming, I know that's one of the pillars as well.
Hmm.
Is it hard, do you feel like, to just reclaim your life? Like, I'm going to be this person. I command, declare, decree that this is who I'm going to be, and you will not define me. Do you think the reclaiming is the hardest part for a woman?
I think if you have been torn down,
Mm-hmm.
it can be very difficult
Mm-hmm.
because you need that rebuilding.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need that time frame to look at, okay, this is what God says.
Mm-hmm.
This is who he says I am.
Mm-hmm.
You got to reclaim what God said
That's
about you.
yeah.
And then once you reclaim what he said about you, you can realign and rebuild on what you need to do to move forward.
That's it.
But you got to get it in your head.
Yeah. And that's the hardest part, is getting that paradigm gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what they said. It doesn't
Mm-mm.
matter how many, because first of all, they're speaking out of emotion.
Yes.
Anytime you leave a person, and this is on either end, you said something that I love to touch on, is about being submissive. And when you're talking about submission, I just told a friend of mine, I can't multiply what you don't give me.
Right.
And I cannot imagine why a woman, because even in my not knowing, this was not okay for me. If you don't have a vision, If you don't have goals, if you don't have a direction that this family is going,
Right.
you finna walk around in circles, honey, and I'm not walking with you. So
And it can't be selfish.
and it cannot be selfish. You've got to think about everybody in the household. And so if you don't give me anything to multiply, if you tell me to submit and there's no mission, submit, sub to the mission. If I don't have a mission to submit to, then there's nothing. I don't know what you want me to do with that. You haven't given me anything to do anything with. And a lot of
Right.
times it becomes emotions. When we're talking about rebuilding, you got to turn around and get rid of all the emotions and
Yes.
logically think, okay, as much as I wanted this, as much as I loved him, or as much as I loved my life,
Right.
I've got to get tunnel vision. I've got to
Mm-hmm.
make a decision,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to be able to move forward. I've got a little mini me here that I gotta go ahead. And then
Yeah.
at the same time that you're trying to gather your wits, you've got to turn around and make sure that you're showing her that it's
Her.
okay.
Right. I had to show her what it was like to be independent
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because independence is not bad.
Mm-hmm. They make it.
People say, I've been told, oh, you too independent.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm independent until I can codependent with somebody that deserves me.
Oh, can you call my dependent? Hello. Love
Can
that.
you codepend with me?
Yeah. Love it.
Because we're supposed to depend on each other in the
Mm.
process.
As we depend on God. And
Mhm.
that's so true. Now, do you feel like this is the stage where you're rediscovering like who you are?
Yeah, because when you rediscover who you are and whose you are,
Ooh.
there's nothing that you can't do when you put your mind to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, you look during this time, I went to school twice.
Mm. Oh, I know that just makes them sick when you when you go up. I love
Twice.
it. Yeah,
Yes. And so um there's elevation that comes when you pivot in the alignment with God.
that's it.
He elevates you. Even when people or the naysayers say you can't or they don't see your worth,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
as long as God sees it,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter
Yeah.
about what other people say.
I know it. And I love that though. I think it is so amazing. And I know you shouldn't want this, but it is just something so glorious when God takes you and you go through all these things. The fact that you are able to even share, with other people to prevent them or to impact them, because it is so needed. First of all, it is very needed with the way generations are now. Everything's a microwave. Everything is right now, immediate gratification. Okay, so he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. I don't want it. And it's like, and then what are we teaching the next generation? Or I'm just going to stay here because it's for the kids. And then what are we showing the next generation? It's like if we never get to the point where we're doing it like God said, do it, then we're
And
just,
I will say this, you will have people that might come in your life that looks like sheep clothing,
oh, mm, mm, mm,
you know and when they say all the right things, and
mm,
at first they do all the right things, and then you might find yourself having to reposition again because now you have to discern the red flags
mm.
from the lessons that you learned way back when,
Yeah,
you
that's the,
know
yeah,
and so we're always
good.
rebuilding, we always reclaiming, we always realigning with what God says.
Yeah,
Seek him first,
yeah,
you know, and make sure that all things are in alignment with what God is saying
yeah,
about the matter.
yeah,
Now, if you're experiencing loss because of death, you still got to realign yourself.
yeah. Step back.
Step back, rebuild you, because that person might have been your identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might have been that person that was their wife.
Right.
You might have been their wife,
Mm-hmm.
or you might have been the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you in the midst of it?
Mm-hmm. And that is one
Find
key.
you.
Yeah, find you. Because that's one thing that we do a lot. We lose ourselves in people every day as women. We're always looking for a place to validate
Yes.
who we are and what we do and how we do it.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm famous for saying, honey, validation is for parking, honey, because
Yeah.
if you can't validate yourself, what happens when there's loss? How do you get up from that when there's loss? And then when are we accountable to just say mentally, emotionally, I'm not okay? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
when you have a situation like ours and definitely like yours, you got to think about the embarrassment that you
Hmm.
went through in that time, the eyeballs that are
Yes.
on you. And then in the midst of all of that, you really feel like you've made this huge mistake when it's nothing that's a fault of yours. If somebody shows up as their representative and then decides to take off the representative jacket after they've already gotten you,
Yeah.
now those lessons that you're talking about, oh, I love them, honey, because you can see them at the gas station and be
Yes.
like, I don't like the way you walk.
Yes. Yes.
I don't
Like,
like,
I don't like the way it's, I'm sorry,
yeah.
smell.
That's what I'm saying. It's like when you really learn the lesson, and that is the key when it comes to coaching. It's like we just want, God has placed this mantle, this desire for us just not to want you to go through the same things we went through.
Yes.
It's not that we just want to be telling people what to do. We could care less. It's that it is a burden to
Hmm.
watch women stay in situations that are going
That
to
they don't
be
have to.
harmful. You don't
Hmm.
have to stay there. It's hard to see people stay in loss. For me, when you talk about like losing someone, we talked about this earlier. You know, me losing mother and father and sister and brother and grandmother, like, you know, you just go and you just like your whole life is surrounded by a bunch of loss. You know, if I would have stayed there, can you imagine the women
That's
that
right.
would be still hurting had I not just got up off of my whining bed and
And
understood
go.
and,
Get up and go.
and go.
Get up and move a little bit. You
That's it.
know, it might, you don't have to do leaps, but
Yeah,
an inch.
that's
As
it.
long as you moving through
Yeah,
the process,
yeah,
each day is going to get easier.
yeah.
Each day you're going to be a little bit wiser.
There you
And
go.
then you're going to wake up and say, ooh, girl, I did that.
I did that. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, now rebuilding, we've done it. We're renewing and rising into this
Yes,
bold woman. And I love the
yes,
way you said bold and whole. Whole is key. These
yes,
people that be afraid to talk to somebody, you around here scared because you don't want everybody in your business. Girl, I'm telling it. I remember
yeah.
my big mama used to laugh at me because I had a cousin that I don't know whether he's mentally something was wrong. I'm not sure. But I remember being on the bus and he like tried to attack me on the bus. And at that time I was like maybe seven, I think, seven, almost eight. And when I jumped off the bus, like I had this cute dress on, honey, I left everything where it was. My big mama, I mean, it tickled them later because I wanted to make sure that y'all knew number one, I ain't lying, and I done left it where it is,
Yes,
and I just looked a mess running down the street. But it's because this thing where people want us to be silent, it's time out for that. There's no more silence. Nobody has to be silent. I don't have to. If you don't want it to be told, don't do it.
right.
If you don't want me to let anybody know, don't do it because you make that my story. The moment
Yes.
that it happens, it is now my story. So as coaches, I just think that it's an amazing feat. I really commend you on that. Just definitely because you have the touchy subject. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
us as coaches, we can do all these many things, but when you have the touchy subject, that's
Hmm.
the one that everybody wants to tiptoe around. Well, I love the fact that that means you're a disruptor.
Hmm.
God made you a disruptor. You're going to
Yeah.
come in and disrupt what is the norm, which is we just talk traditionally
Hmm.
about these wonderful relationships that we have. And that's men or women, because we
Yes.
know
Both.
it's, honey, I was listening to Proverbs today and I
Hmm.
had to stop and just, it's so funny. I'll be talking to God like he's standing there. I said, how many times you going to say something about this disruptive woman in the house?
Hmm. Yeah.
Because,
What I found is that I've had men come to me with the same issue,
yeah, yeah,
and so you you see both sides of it, and you realize it's going on both sides.
both
But
ends.
we as a people
Yeah,
have to be able to see the red flags,
yeah,
and line up with God and know who you are
yeah. Know who
with
you are.
Him.
Know who he called you to be.
Yes,
Especially because if he called you to be it, I I get it. Like stuff is gonna happen, but keep your eye on what he said you would be.
yes,
For me, it's the keeping your eye on the vision.
yes.
Yeah, these kids didn't have nothing to do because you really could have stayed there and been miserable. But when
Hmm.
you can see the vision and you're like, this was not a part of the vision.
It was not a part of the vision,
Taking
but at the
taking it.
same time, you know, they may have been a part of the vision that God is using. And
Mm,
so I cannot, I've never told my child
hmm.
anything negative
Oh yeah.
about
Oh
that.
yeah.
I always said, they didn't ask to be here.
Yeah.
You love them, you
Yeah.
know, as you love your father. Now that's between them.
That's it.
But as for me
Oh, as for me and mine.
and mine, as for me and mine, he said it was time to go.
That's it.
And you know what I say about go? God's obedience.
That's it. Oh, you got the following. Girl, I'm so excited for you. I don't know what to do. Now, listen, because you know I'll get it in. Okay. Now, tomorrow, we got
Yes,
this big thing coming. You are
yes,
finally dropping this new program. I am
yes,
so excited about this program.
yes.
And you have like some different tiers, but let's get into this swag bag. I love me a good swag bag, baby. Oh, can we show the people the swag bag?
You want to see the swag bag?
I do. I love it. Ooh.
It says rediscover,
Mm-hmm.
rebuild, reclaim, restore, renew, and reposition.
Honey, because it's going to remind you daily of what you need to be doing after loss.
Yes.
I absolutely love that. Now, that's for the first 5 people that
That's
signed
for the first 5 people who sign up for the program. This in a little bag
up. Love
of
that.
goodies.
They get
Yes.
they get textbooks.
Yes.
Okay, you got the B community. I love
Yes.
that. That's a special invitation. And then you have a digital vault.
Yes.
I love that for them.
Yes.
Okay, so 12 sessions. Now, during these sessions, kind of give us an overview of like what is it that you guys will like really get into? I know we're going to talk about like all of these 7 pillars, but if you had to talk about like the main portion, like something that you know is the transformational piece of it, like kind of what does that look like?
When I think the transformation would be when you really go through the program and you're showing yourself who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and then you realize that you are a new person.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All that you went through,
Mm-hmm.
all that you had to endure, you had to rebuild yourself, you had to rediscover all of those things that you liked to
Oh yeah.
do for you,
Yeah.
not someone else, but who you are
Yeah.
and what you enjoy. And you realize, ooh,
I love
I'm a new person.
I love that. Oh, I love that. Okay. First 10. I know they're getting a little special pricing and all that. So what I'm going to do is you guys, y'all know I'm going to make sure that it is in the description so that y'all can definitely sign up. It's going to be on Eventbrite or
Yes.
the okay. And so definitely so y'all can sign up, honey, because listen, you need to get in here and get the swag bag because I know what's in the swag bag. So anyway, I am excited. Look, sipping tea, sipping tea. I
That is
am
the tea.
oh girl, I am so, so, so proud of you. And I am so excited that you came to hang out with me tonight. Because listen, when it comes to resilience, people do not, I don't think, I keep saying that they don't, but I don't think they understand that you really overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of your
Yes.
testimony. Your testimony will break free if they listen, if they take heed. Women from going through this, listen, we're not here to tell you what to do. We're not here to
No.
tell you who to marry. We're not here to tell you how to be in your relationship. But what I am here and what you are here to do is to keep them from going down a road. This thing where the girls think that, just because they do what they do and how they do it and when they do it is going to change something. Honey, if you're not in alignment, you're not in alignment.
Hmm.
Doesn't care. Who cares what you wear? I don't care what you do with your body. If you're not in alignment and God is not at the forefront, it is not going to be.
He
And
has to
how do we?
use both of you.
Both of you. And so for me, it's how do you come away from that? Like you said, I love it. Renewal, that's key. Repositioning, oh, honey, because you got to turn around with that pivot and you got to be able to stand still and say, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Even after death, I'm okay. I got this. I got this. Even when you're used to making that phone call every day, I got this. I got this. I can do this by myself. Even when you never had to.
Hmm.
And so I love what you do. I'm excited about what you're doing. And I know, honey, that it is going to be amazing tomorrow. You know, I'm going to be in the room, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
to be in the room. We're going to be in the room. So I want to make sure that all you guys make sure you go to the link in my bio or you go in the description and make sure that you sign up. I want y'all to be there so that you can hear the amazing, amazing, amazing points that's going to be made, gems that are going to be dropped, and principles that are going to
Yes.
be dropped for you to be able to kind of get your life after loss, honey. We got a tendency to want to stay stuck. Okay.
Yes.
And we're not staying stuck in 2026. We are going to get our life. So, Coach Christy, love, I thank you so much, my love, for
Thank
coming
you.
and hanging out tonight and just spending time with this community and sharing your journey of resilience. Now, question,
Yes.
if you had to tell them, any of the women or even the men, anything that would prevent, let's say they're not going to be there tomorrow, something transformational that you could tell them, what would it be?
I think for you who want to move from a place of negativism
Hmm.
and you want to rebuild who you are in Christ,
Hmm.
you need to come on over to the time.
Okay, come get this tea.
Come get this tea.
Come get this tea, honey.
Come
We
get
sips
this
tea
tea.
over here. I
Come get this
love that.
tea.
I love it because that's true. You need to talk to somebody. I definitely feel like that is a key thing for 2026 is to stop trying to do it in your own might.
Yeah.
Stop trying to do it by yourself. God intended for community. And I don't think, even in social work, I've always been taught every good, they used to use this word, good. Every good therapist needs a
Needs a
therapist.
therapist.
We always were taught that. Every good coach needs a coach. And so, what does that mean for just the regular lay people? Honey, you got to find
You
somebody
gotta
that's
have
been there, done that.
community.
Got to have
Gotta have
somebody that's,
community.
yeah,
Mhm.
been there, done that. So I thank you again tonight. I'm grateful, honey. I cannot wait to see what's coming tomorrow. You guys give me a little fire emoji in the chat, baby. If you've had a good night tonight, got you some good information, you are excited for Coach Chris T, honey, put me some fire emojis in the chat. Woo! I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. And I love you guys. I will make sure that any links that have to go out for tomorrow, because this will definitely be airing tomorrow, I will make sure that I get that to you. But do not forget, all of the social media, all of the links for tomorrow night will be in the description. I love you all, and I will see you soon.
Bye.
You got this, okay? You been that girl.
Been that girl.